Well, I mean, that's a long story, but in short, yes, I think all of the above is true. I've looked at this in detail in the new book, and I've talked to a lot of people with Morgellons. First of all, it started to
Hmm?
appear when chemtrails started to appear, and people began to notice them. And what is happening is that people are finding basically forms of technology and human made substances and substances that certainly not made in the public arena by humans in their bodies, and they can pull them out like strands of tubes and hollow tubes and what have you. They can pull them out of the body, but they go on replicating. And when you look at, as I have in the book, the descriptions of the world that's coming from people like Ray Kurzweil, then he's basically describing that. He's talking about intelligent AI in the form of intelligent technology of the kind we're talking about. And there's even a name for it now. They call it smart dust because, of course, everything today is smart because everything smart connects to everything else called smart. That's what it is. It's the creation of a smart grid with all these different expressions of it communicating with each other to create this grid. And smart dust is also what is called nanotechnology. It's so small the human eye can't even begin to see it.
Hmm.
And this is clearly when you look at the evidence, is what is coming out in down in chemtrails. And it's affecting not only the human body, it's affecting the environment. Now, I'm going to give you a quote here from Ray Kurzweil, who said, nanobots will infuse all the matter around us with information. Rocks, trees, everything will become these intelligent creatures. What he's saying is that what they're going to do is infuse AI technology into the entirety of the environment. Well,
Hmm.
how the hell are you going to do that except by dropping it from the sky? And
Hmm.
that's what is the chemtrails are not only about that, but they're absolutely what a fundamental part of what chemtrails are about, among many other things. And I have heard it said, I'm not saying it's true, I've heard it said that what we call Morgellons sufferers are people whose bodies are rejecting it. And as the body
Hmm.
rejects it, they're having physical symptoms, and their stuff is coming out because the human immune system is trying to eject it. And so, people have these great sores on the skin and everything. Whereas
Yeah.
others, it is suggested, are assimilating it. Because you
Hmm.
see, the end game is not only to connect the human mind to AI, but to create a completely different human being, to create a synthetic human being. This is why now they are talking publicly about the development of a synthetic genome. And I would say this is so important. Whatever you see in the public arena in terms of technological development is light years behind what's happening in the shadows.
Yeah.
Because this is another important point. These people are not sitting around a table tapping their fingers, waiting for some geek in a garage in California to develop the next stage of technological development necessary for their plan of human control through AI. This technology has been there for a long, 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 long time because it's being handed over from non human sources. And the technological transfer, which is taking place to a large extent in these deep underground military bases around America and other parts of the world, from non-human to human sources, is being played out into the public arena in a specific sequence. This is why it's now moving so quickly. It's moving so fast in terms of the AI takeover through the technological developments, because they're not developments. They've been known about for a long time. It's just being played out into the public arena. And what they do is they create cover stories, like, again, some geek in a garage created it by accident or whatever. No. Of course those things happen, but in general, it's coming out of projects that ultimately link to a non-human force, but projects that are run by DARPA, the technological development arm of the Pentagon, which works with organizations like the National Security Agency and the CIA to run Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley is not the origin of all this. It's a means through which it comes into public use and into public society. It's coming out through DARPA. Why would DARPA, which develops things like death rays and ways of creating genetic destruction of specific genetic particular races, which it has done, why would it have any interest in seed funding and developing the technology that is now these office assistants like Echo and Alexa and Siri? Why would it want to do that? Because it would like to let people have some, technological assistant in their homes. Oh, how nice! Those DARPA people are so lovely. No, because it's part of the bigger picture. That's why DARPA's behind it. It's why the CIA seed funded Google before it became Google. Facebook is not run by Zuckerberg. I mean, crikey. I mean, he's a little boy in short trousers. He's just the front man. So what we're looking at, therefore, is the unfolding of this technology in a specific sequence, because they're not waiting for it to be developed. It's already developed, and this is why I say it's moving so fast. And the idea is to create a synthetic human. Now, here's the point: this synthetic human is not planned to be male or female, and it's not planned to have the ability to procreate. What we're looking at now is basically what Aldous Huxley described in Brave New World, published in 1932. The world state hatcheries, where humans are created in specific genetic types, technologically, through synthetic means. And this is the real reason for the explosion in transgender everywhere.
Yeah, that's why they're pushing that now.
They're pushing that. Well, they're not pushing it. It's freaking exploding everywhere. Why?
Yeah.
Because, again, who is the biggest target of it? Children and the young. Because they are fusing their perception of gender. First of all, you break up the perception of male and female, and you start to fuse the genders and have multiple genders between the two, which is why you get this long list of letters these days, getting longer. But what you're doing, totalitarian tiptoe, perceptual manipulation, is you're moving perception to the point where there is no gender. And we're hearing these phrases now. Oh, there's no gender. Don't identify with a gender. Well, it's being done to prepare people for when they are adults to accept this no gender human. And that's what it's all a mind game. And it's unfolding in front of our eyes.